back to the channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Maya, and today we're going to start our very first episode of Booktube on this channel. In case you're unsure of what Booktube is, it's basically a whole, kind of like a series on YouTube that YouTubers do about books, because big people on YouTube who just love books have channels all about books. This channel is not going to be just about books. I'm going to at least have a series called Booktube. So that's what we're going to do. So this first video is going to be talking about the books I'm currently reading, and I'm excited to talk about them. So let's get started. So the first book I'm in the middle of is To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and I actually have this book right here. So this book is about a girl named Laura Jean, and she writes a bunch of letters to all the guys she's ever loved, which is 5, which is kind of crazy. These letters eventually get out, and there's a little bit of romance because she ends up fake dating a very popular guy, and I don't want to spoil it if you've never read it or seen it. But even if you're not going to read it, at least check out the movie on Netflix because it's amazing, just like the cover says. And it's an amazing book you definitely should check out. When you want to get through a book, this is one of the highly recommends for me because it's very good, very fast-paced, and it's got some drama in it for sure. And not only that, the chapters are very short, so it doesn't take that long to get through. I know it looks thick, but like I said, chapters so short, you get through it like this. I'm also in the middle of Pride and Prejudice, which I also have right here. I am borrowing from my sister-in-law. This is a old book and movie as well. If you don't want to read the book, I highly recommend the movie. I love the movie so much, which is why I'm reading this. I've never read the book, but I've watched the movie. The movie makes me want to read the book, but I absolutely love the movie. Definitely recommend watching that because Mr. Darcy is amazing. I used to not like him, but anyway. So I'm excited to read the book. I feel like it's going to be better than the movie. We'll see, because normally I say the books are better than the movie. Like, this is definitely better than the movie. This will probably be better than the movie, but we just have to wait and see, won't we? I'm not super far into this. I am about, let's see, I am on, I've read 11 chapters, and there's probably like a bunch in here, because as you can tell, this is a thick book. It will take a little while. Some of these chapters are short, and some of them are longer, so it does take some time, but also, as you'll see in this video, I'm in the middle of several books, so I can't really pick one to go through. I'm just kind of like in the middle of so many, but I try to stay focused on at least 1 or 2 at once, which is kind of hard. Anyway, so really quickly, Pride and Prejudice is a very old-timey book. It was set in, my guess is the 1900s, maybe 1800s, I'm not sure. And it's about a bunch of girls and this family and their mother as well. Their mother wants to set them up with a bunch of men, well, maybe not a bunch, but there's a few men in this series. Well, not series, but the book and in the movie, there's some men that she wants some of her daughters to actually marry. And some of them want to marry men, but the main one that the whole movie is really about, besides Jane, is Elizabeth. And Elizabeth meets this guy, Mr. Darcy, at this ball, and she's not very interested in him that much, but it also seems like he's not that interested in her, because he he like stares at her, and he doesn't start to talk very much, and then he tells his friend in secret when he doesn't think Elizabeth hears him, but she does, and he says something about Elizabeth being tolerable, and that was kind of rude in my opinion. But you know, the way the movie starts out, Mr. Darcy is a little conceited in my opinion, but he gets better about it. So that's the only reason I find that scene tolerable when he says that. There's so many cute scenes in this movie and in the book. I really hope this one scene is in this book. I'm not going to spoil everything, but there's this really cute scene in the rain that was in the movie, and I swear if it's not in this book, I'm going to cry. And I swear, I'm so excited to read about him running through the, well, not running, but walking through the field in the end, because that scene is amazing, guys. But I'm not going to spoil it, like I said. Really quickly, I'll just read the back if that helps you get a better idea of this book. The arrival of 2 rich bachelors stirs Mrs. Bennet to hope that wedding bells will soon be in the air. Jane, the eldest of Mrs. Bennet's daughters, forms an early attachment to Mr. Bingley, but her clever-spirited sister Elizabeth immediately takes against the arrogant Mr. Darcy. Events conspire to keep Jane and Mr. Bingley apart, while Darcy's pride and Lizzie's prejudice hamper course of true love. This, I swear, if you hear that and you're like, and you don't think that's interesting, just get out of here. Just don't come back to this channel. I'm just kidding, but seriously, rethink that, because this is an amazing book. I guarantee you. No, even though I haven't got that far, it's also the best movie ever. It's my favorite movie at the moment. Love it. Moving on. The next book I'm in the middle of that I don't really have a physical copy of is Better Than the Movies. I'm only one chapter in, but it's for my book club with my best friend and my niece. And it's called Better Than the Movies, and I don't know much about it. All I know is it's supposed to be an enemies to lovers thing. Or actually, no, I'll take that back. It's either that or it's a best friend to lovers thing. But either way, I'm going to be excited because I like both of those tropes. And so far, all I know is there's this girl and she's a very romantic person. She loves romantic comedies. Her mom passed away, but she also likes that idea of the romantic stuff because she used to watch these kind of movies with her mom and she still watches them and it helps her connect to her mom. One day, this guy that she used to like really crush over when she was younger comes back and she can't believe it. And so she wants to try to reconnect, get to know each other better so she can date him. And I don't know what else is going to happen because that's all in the first chapter. But I'm very excited to see where this book goes because it's very interesting and I need to get with it because it's for my book club. But yeah, so the next book I'm in the middle of is called Ugly Love. I don't have a physical copy either, but I'll put a picture of it on the screen as well. And this is a Colleen Hoover book. I've never read any of her books, but I've heard all the hype about how good her books are, so I needed to read one. So I'm in the middle of the audiobook, and it's very good. I love her writing. She is very descriptive. I love how descriptive she is, and I love her author and her style of writing. I just love it. The only thing that bugs me about this book is that there's a little bit of language, but mostly the concept of this guy, Miles, and how he used to be obsessive in his past over this girl, Rachel. I get that sometimes people do get obsessed with other people, but he's so obsessive. Almost every sentence he thinks in his head is Rachel. Something about Rachel, or just be Rachel. Or, I just want to breathe in Rachel. And I'm like, dude, you need to calm down. But anyway, other than that, the book is very good. I'm excited. So the main idea of this book is that this girl and this guy, they don't really like each other. They're not even that close friends. But then one day they decide to hook up, and it leads a bunch of like drama. And she's also this guy, like I said, she's not close to this guy. And the only other thing actually that I'm thinking about it that I hate about this book is the main character's name. She's a girl and her name is Tate. If she was a guy, it'd be different. But no, they named the girl Tate. That's a terrible name for a girl. I'm sorry. Anyway, but Tate and Miles are hooking up, and like I said, they're not that close, but Miles is a friend of her brother's, so that's why this causes a bunch of drama after they start hooking up, and that's all I pretty much know. But I'm halfway through the book, because the book on YouTube I'm listening to is I'm about 3 hours or so into it, and there's like 6 hours of this, so I'm very excited, and I'm very into it, as you can tell, but I need to finish. Anyway, but I would highly recommend reading this book, as long as you're like, my guess is maybe 17 and older. Honestly, at the highest, maybe wait till you're 18 if you don't like hookup description stuff, because that's what that is. And that was a little descriptive, in my opinion. But I've never really read many books with that kind of stuff in it. But I wanted to check out Colleen Hoover, and honestly, it's worth it, in my opinion, if you want to and you think you're old enough. Moving on. So the next book I'm in the middle of is actually one I haven't started yet, but I picked up from the library. It's called Meet Me in Outer Space. All I know, or that I remember of this, is that it's about this girl and she has some kind of disability, and I forgot everything, honestly, except that I don't really remember, honestly. All I remember is something about the orbits between the TA and her. Give me 1 second to look at what the book says. Okay, now I can just read the summary because it's better. So this is Meet Me in Outer Space, which I got from my local library. It's kind of a cute little cover, but what really got me interested in this book is like the summary thingy in the front. So let me read this real quick. It says, Edie Kitts has a learning disability. Well, not a learning disability exactly, but a disability that impacts her learning. It isn't visible and it isn't obvious. And it isn't something she likes to advertise. And for 3 semesters of college, her hard work and perseverance have carried her through. Eddie thinks she has her disability under control until she meets her match with a French 102 course and professor unwilling to help her out. Edie, or actually, I don't know if it's Eddie or Edie, but it's probably Edie. Edie finds herself caught between getting the help she needs and convincing her professor that she isn't looking for an easy out. Luckily for Edie, she has an amazing best friend, Serena, who is willing to stitch together a plan to ensure Edie's success. And then there's Hudson, the badly dressed, undoubtedly adorable TA in her French class who finds himself pulled into her orbit. That last sentence is what made me the most intrigued, so I'm very interested to see how this plays out. I feel like that makes it sound like he's going to help her get through this class, which I'm very excited about. It sounds very interesting, and it's definitely a romance, which I'm big into. But after I finish this, I do want to try to get into more different genres if I can, because all I really read is romance, which I love. But I want to try to adventure my way into other genres if I can. Anyway, moving on. So now that I've talked about the 3 books I'm currently, or 3 or 4 books, or maybe 5 that I'm in the middle of, now I want to talk about one other book I have not read yet that I really want to read as soon as I can, at least sometime this year. It is Jeanette McCurdy's book, I'm Glad My Mom Died. And the reason I'm very excited to read this, well, first of all, the first time I heard it, I was like, I'm not reading that. That sounds weird because it's called I'm Glad My Mom Died. And I didn't like the idea that she was glad her mom passed away. But now I want to read it because of the experiences she went through and how she's wrote about them. So what I know of this book so far, Jeanette McCurdy played Sam Puckett and iCarly and Sam and Cat. And in these shows, all I know so far is she had this eating disability. And they made her eat stuff, which was not good for that. But not only that, she didn't want to be an actress either. Her mom forced her into it. So that sounds very, like, not good. I don't know. I just don't think that's very healthy. I'm glad she played Sam Puckett, but it's not healthy, and I'm sorry that she had to be forced through this kind of stuff. But I'm very excited to read the book. I want to, like, hear her thoughts and, like, her experiences through this kind of stuff because I want to know from her perspective what it was like to do this kind of stuff. Like, after knowing, like, I haven't read the book, but after knowing this kind of stuff, though, and then I go back and watch iCarly, like, that scene where she first kisses Freddie, if you watch that scene, you will see she's not comfortable at all because that was her real life first kiss as well. And she was so nervous, and you could tell she was just from, like, her whole eyes and facial expression, which is terrible as well. But the book sounds very interesting to hear her experiences, and I'm so excited. So that is about it for this video. The last thing I want to say is coming up later this month, I'm going to have my April TBR, which is probably mostly the books I talked about now. But we'll see if I add any more books to the list. But if I don't finish all the books on my April TBR, I may add them to my May TBR. But get excited for more Booktube videos to come because this is very fun. And I want to get in the habit of talking about more books because I don't read enough. But if I could, I feel like I would do a great habit of using this kind of stuff on my channel. So let me know if you'd be more interested in this kind of like content with books. Let me know because I feel like it'd be fun. And yeah, so don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you want to, and don't forget to share with your friends because I would love you guys to help me out with this channel. And don't forget to add me on all my social medias. They will be linked down below. And don't forget to comment down below your favorite book and let me know if you have any recommendations of what I should read because I'd love to read all about them. And I'd love to read anything you suggest me. So I'll see you guys next time, and I'll love you guys. Bye!